Thank you for finding the time.
I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. The best thing Disney Marvel has ever produced in live action or otherwise is the Netflix Daredevil series. And if you want to bring up Iron Man, that was made by Paramount. Everything else is a distant second. I don't make the rules, I just make the observations. Daredevil is not only one of my favorite superhero series, it's one of my favorite TV series of all time. Totally, it gave you everything you want as a Daredevil comic fan, particularly from the 80s up, from Miller to Nocenti to Bendis to Brubaker, but definitely not to Mark Waid.
You suck ass.
Whether it's the now famous hallway scene or the Kingpin decapitating a guy with a car door, Madame Gao, the introduction of the Hand, the Punisher in prison, the brilliant portrayals of Foggy Nelson and Karen Page, I only have 3 minor complaints. Bullseye wasn't in his costume in season 3, Daredevil wasn't in his costume for most of season 3, and Matt Murdock wasn't a ginger. Ultimately, thanks to D+, all the Netflix shows were canceled. And considering how most of those shows turned out, it wasn't a surprise. Except for Daredevil. Everybody wanted that show back. They wanted to see Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Well, be careful what you wish for.
Morning. You're really starting to annoy me.
Sometimes family doesn't see eye to eye.
And despite one good cameo by Charlie Cox in Spider-Man No Way Home, no one could argue that a lot of damage was done, specifically to what was, until Disney Plus showed up, the best Marvel villain, Kingpin. Yes, better than Thanos. So after Daredevil's walk of shame and the Kingpin crying and getting defeated twice by a couple of girls, they announced that there's going to be another Daredevil series, Daredevil Born Again again. Thankfully, there was a Writers Guild and Film Actors Guild strike that scrapped the series even though they had filmed half of it. An 18-episode courtroom drama without Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. Disney Marvel decided to use that opportunity to go back to the drawing board and reshoot the entire series. So after WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Secret Invasion, Echo, and Agatha All Along, there's finally a D+ series I'm looking forward to, because Disney Marvel just dropped a trailer and it looks really good.
Thank you for finding the time.
I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
A lot of respect for who put this trailer together because it's very good, but this opening, aside from addressing the length of time it's been since the Netflix Daredevil show, it also has a meta aspect. This is exactly how Marvel fans feel about Disney Marvel coming back and actually listening to them. Like a couple of exes talking for the first time after a few short, friendly texts and a lot of water under the bridge.
A lot of time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
It is great seeing Foggy and Karen back, considering again that they weren't going to be in this Daredevil series originally.
I could say the same about you.
A mayor serves his city.
Unless, of course, you're a mayor that flies to Ghana and attends a cocktail party where your city is on fire.
I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me?
Despite this series being called Daredevil Born Again, that storyline was done in season 3, hence why I call it Daredevil Born Again again. This one's going to be based on the Charles Soule and Ron Garney run. That was one of the rare standouts in what was the complete crap, all new, all different Marvel.
I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
Now, what line was crossed? Did one of his friends get killed? Did he kill a villain? Did both happen? I guess we'll have to find out.
It's hard to come to terms with the violent nature, seeing the power it has over us.
It's the good old hero slash superhero has given up being the hero slash superhero, except this time it's different. The villain has given up being the villain as well. Hopefully they do things a little different this time, or maybe they'll both find a magic knee brace. Yes, that is Bullseye, and they did such a great job with him in season 3. Now, hopefully, they give him a good costume. Oh.
I was raised to believe in grace.
Man, this trailer's got everything. There's James Gandolfini's son and the White Tiger. Now, there was a time I would have been stoked to see this character come to life, but considering what Disney Marvel just did to my boy Moon Knight, as with everything churned out by Disney Marvel over the last 5 years, including this series, I'll hope for the best and expect the worst.
I was also raised to believe in retribution.
I see that yellow cow and I'm reminded there needs to be some retribution for She-Hulk. But I'll be damned, that was a good trailer. Ultraviolet, along with a couple of compound fractures, characters looking and acting like they do from the comic books. It looks like they're going to do a somewhat faithful adaptation of a story from the comic books. I mean, what the hell's going on? And I can hear you out there, and you'd be right. Oh, you sweet summer child, you're allowing yourself to get excited, or at least looking forward to a piece of Disney Marvel content. And I have no explanation other than I'm a nerd. Now, I thought things were bad when they got the Defenders together on Netflix to fight Grandma, but things got so much worse. And it's going to be hard to wipe away the stain of She-Hulk, Hawkeye, and Echo. If not impossible, but at least it looks like they're making an effort. Now, I don't expect this series to be as good as the Netflix series, mostly because none of the writers returned. Now, a lot of that is bad news, including not getting back Buffy and Angel alumni, respectively, Stephen DeKnight and Drew Goddard. But there is some good news. They didn't bring back The Witcher's Lauren Hissrich. Ultimately, I'm okay if this series is just pretty good, and that would be a major victory for Disney Marvel. They were initially going to make a happy-go-lucky Marvel humor Daredevil and thought better of it, and now we're going to get a continuation of the Netflix series, and according to the little birdies I know in Marvel, this is the most rated R thing they've ever done. And as far as the Marvel fandom sitting down with Disney Marvel as a couple of exes and talking the first time, well, for me anyway, not enough water has gone under the bridge. As a matter of fact, a few glaciers need to melt. Then, of course, there's still a lot of questions when it comes to the MCU's canon, including, but definitely not limited to, what's going on with the Black Knight, what's going on with Blade. Sure, they're going to finally address Tiamat in the Captain America sequel without Captain America. But did anybody see that giant celestial in the sky? Hey, how's that Skrull invasion going? But it's a smart move to just do a grounded superhero story without all this multiverse bullshit. And maybe that happens by 2030. But Disney Marvel's going to have to remember, because a lot of people in this comment section and elsewhere are going to remind them how they treated the fans over the last few years. And you're going to see the full spectrum of responses, from excitement to skepticism to I'm never f***ing coming back. And don't forget, modern Hollywood never deserves the benefit of the doubt. That being said, it's looking good so far for Daredevil Born Again. Please don't f*** it up.
Nerdrotic.com.
If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.